Did you ever notice how people tend to migrate to the kitchen at parties or family gatherings?
It's kind of where I hang out. Everybody, that's where everything is, where all the food is. They want to be as close to the food as possible. So we are in the kitchen so much, maybe it's time for an upgrade. So if you're looking to redesign your gathering spot, the Marvel Life Sean Stryker has a few tips to help you make it fashionable and functional.
They say the kitchen is the heart of the home.
It's a place for everyone just to be together and spend time together. It's where you eat, it's where kids do homework, it is sort of the central place in the house.
And it's for that reason that Mike Donohue, the president of Kitchen Concepts, says it's important to design your kitchen around your life.
The most important thing is to consider how you live, what kinds of things that you do in your kitchen. If it's going to be a place where you entertain a lot, are you really a gourmet chef? So thinking about how your family lives in your home and looking for the things that are important for that lifestyle.
But before you get into cabinets and countertops, you should first nail down placement and layouts.
Unless you have good function, good flow in a kitchen, all of the design elements will just become sort of distractions down the road. So really, you know, it's appliance location, it's the flow, it's the work centers, all of those things are taken into account first.
According to Mike, one of the biggest blunders a person can make when designing their kitchen is poor appliance placement.
A classic mistake with appliance placement is putting a refrigerator too close to a wall. So in this case, if the wall was right here, the door would open, but that would be as far as it opens. We put a cabinet in place so that the door would actually open past 90 degrees, and then now you can actually open all the doors and drawers on the inside of the appliance as well.
After you figure out where the appliances are going, it's time to design your workstation.
We want to make sure that there's a good flow throughout the kitchen, that it's a natural working area so that you're conveniently moving from one area to the other as you're cooking or cleaning up.
And when you're cleaning up, where do you put everything? Cabinets and drawers. Of course, as Mike tells us, sometimes less is more.
We want to minimize the number of doors and drawers in a layout. By doing that, we give a larger look to the room, but we also make the cabinets more functional and also, as a byproduct, less expensive.
And believe it or not, minimizing the doors and drawers can also make your kitchen more balanced.
When you walk into a kitchen, the first thing you do walking into a room is you see everything sort of from eye level up. That's what draws your attention. So from the backsplash area of the kitchen up. So what we try and do, back to the idea of less doors and drawers, we try and make the wall cabinets much more uniform, bigger and more uniform, so that visually when you see it, you see a uniform line of cabinetry as opposed to, you know, a bunch of different sized doors. It just makes, again, it makes the space seem larger and it's more economical.
Okay, let's see. Appliance location? Check. Workstations? Check. Cabinet layout? Check. Now it's time for the fun stuff. Picking out the colors of your cabinets and countertop. Mike says while cherry and maple cabinets are still top choices, trends are shifting.
The trend tends to be moving to more painted cabinets. A lot of pure white or off-white glazed cabinets, and then a more recent trend just over maybe the last year or so, we've started to see gray come out as a new popular color.
Mike's also seeing a shift in countertops.
We're still seeing granite as really a huge part of the market, you know, the really interesting stone countertops, but we're seeing a continuous improvement or picking up of market share by the man-made stones, the ones that have really unique colors, unique patterns that are man-made.
And new technology is making laminate countertops more appealing than ever.
We've seen with the new printing processes in the lamination manufacturing that they can make a laminate countertop look exactly like granite through the printing process, that you almost have to go up and touch it to make sure that it's not really granite.
And since trends change, Mike says it all comes back to layout.
Designs, trends, they come and go, but if you've got a really good functional layout, you're going to be happy with that kitchen for many, many years.
Isn't that something? Now here's something else that might take you by surprise. Kitchen Concepts Mike Donohue says in some cases, the larger cabinets and drawers you select in a kitchen remodel may actually be more cost effective than the smaller sizes. And after watching that, I think I'm ready to get started on my kitchen.
Oh yeah, well, can you come help me with mine? Because mine has needed an upgrade for about 15 years now. Well, moving from the kitchen to a room in the house that's, I guess you could say it's a little less glamorous. I'm talking about the laundry room. If you've ever had to repair your washer or dryer, you know it can put a big dent in your budget. In fact, any appliance repair can be costly. According to HomeAdvisor.com, we spend an average of just over $200 every year just to fix our appliances. Most homeowners spend between $163 and $237, and at most, on average, about $341.
All right, let's bring this home. It's a little bit less in Salisbury, with the average annual appliance repairs costing just over $190. If you go to Dover, HomeAdvisor.com says a little over $140 is spent on average every year. In Accomack, Virginia, it's well over the national average at over $220 every year. So obviously, we want to do everything we can to make our major appliances last as long as possible. You probably don't think that your everyday actions are hurting them, but chances are you're doing something to at least one of them that could lead to an emergency repair call.
Yeah, over time, abusing or neglecting your appliances can bring about an earlier than expected end to their useful life. In today's Angie's List report, simple mistakes you may be making with your washer and dryer.
We use our washer and dryers all the time, and yet there are things we may do with every use that could be putting the machines at risk of damage. Rick Canterbury, co-owner of an appliance repair company, says overloading the washing machine is the most common mistake he sees customers make.
Rule of thumb is kind of come up to the top hole of your inner tub. And this is your inner tub. Your outer tub on the outside of that is actually what holds the water. So you bring your clothes up to about right there, which is really only about 2/3 of the way up on your agitator.
You also want to make sure your laundry is well balanced, or else, Rick says, you may damage your washer.
Wash heavy things with other heavy things, light things with other light things, weight-wise. So you want to wash jeans with towels and t-shirts with underwear, socks, things like that.
Another rule of thumb when it comes to your washer, Rick says, make sure the water level is at the proper setting for the amount of clothes being washed.
The more water you have in there, the more freely your clothes are going to move around and wash.
Your laundry detergent also plays a role when it comes to a well-maintained washer. Industry experts say homeowners tend to use too much detergent. It's important to use the recommended amount. And if you have a front loader, experts say you should use a high efficiency or HE laundry detergent.
That is a low suds soap. You're supposed to use that. A lot of people don't, and they'll use their regular soap, which still will work, but you've got to use a lot less. That's why these washers are high efficiency. They use a lot less water, a lot less soap, a lot less energy.
Experts say using non-HE detergent for a front loader can cause suds to leave a residue inside your machine. And just like most appliances, it's also important to keep your washer clean.
When you're done with the washer for the day, wipe it out real good, the boot inside there, and keep it dry. And keep the door cracked open a little too if you can. That lets the air get in there and doesn't suffocate the inside and cause mold growth.
Now it's time to dry your clothes. Experts say a common clothes dryer mistake is ignoring the lint screen after every load.
We go into homes all the time. Customers complain, well, it's not drying. We pull it out and there's, this much lint on these things.
That's why you have to clean the lint screen to avoid lint buildup in the vent.
If the water you run through here, it pools up on there, doesn't come through, you know you have a problem. You can usually use a wire brush of some sort to clean that.
If you use dryer sheets, you also need to rinse the screen. If you skip your washer and dryer maintenance, Angie Hicks, founder of Angie's List, says you may find yourself in the market for a new washer and dryer.
When it comes to replacing your washing machine, typically a top-loading washing machine starts at about $350, while a front loader starts at about $700. Some members have actually told us they've also considered buying refurbished appliances. But if you're doing that, make sure you understand whether they come with a warranty or whether they come as is.
Here are a couple more tips. Angie's List says over time, the rubber hoses connected to your washing machine can rot and burst, which will leave you with a big mess. You may want to consider replacing them with stainless steel braided hoses. And if your dryer takes longer than about an hour to dry a standard size load, you may need a vent cleaning, which usually costs less than $100.
Do you know I went under our house just last week and looked in the vent hose out of the dryer? Oh my goodness.
Scary?
It was, if you haven't cleaned yours, get it cleaned. Now, something else we want to point out, Angie's List says that laundry room remodels are all the rage right now. Lots of people are focusing on what their washer and dryer look like. They're very trendy, but you need to prepare yourself. Highly rated appliance repair companies are saying the newer models have about half the lifespan of the older models.
Well, we may overstuff our washer, but one thing we can't overstuff is a mushroom. In fact, the more flavors we can add, the better. Up next, we're headed to the Delmarva Life Kitchen to do just that. A little crab, a little Old Bay, a little garlic. Oh my goodness, it's a perfect combination and easy enough to do on any night of the week. You'll have to stick around to see how it's done. We'll be right back.